Alterity to me is feeling alienated in a new setting.
Being an outsider and not really fitting in.
Feeling the impression that you don't belong.
Being an outsider in a foreign place.
I became a Marine back in 2006. I was stationed in Pico Rivera over in East LA. And when I got there, I already knew that I would feel out of place. I realized everyone was Hispanic, as I assumed. Immediately, I realized there was a language barrier and I wasn't fluent in Spanish. I took a Spanish class in high school, but only understood the very basic words and forgot a lot of them. Working with other Marines was difficult, as they use the Spanish as a language barrier to kind of keep things from me. But over time, I gained their respect, and they actually taught me a few words in Spanish. But being in an alien place like that was tough.
Growing up, my parents weren't really that wealthy. They didn't have that much money, so our vacation, we really didn't have vacations. I would go to work for the summers with my dad, who was a pool cleaner. So I'd pretty much be cleaning pools all summer, and I would hear stories from schools of kids going to Disneyland, going to SeaWorld, going to all these really nice places that their parents could afford, but my parents couldn't afford. And because my parents weren't that wealthy, I couldn't really afford brand name clothes. We get made fun of because of that. And then I remember situations when we would go shop at thrift stores with my aunt, and she would make me and my little cousin switch the tags on the clothes to get it a little cheaper. And she would have him just walk out with clothes and pretend like he really didn't know what he was doing. But then it made me feel like an outsider, not having the stuff that everybody else at my school had. I felt like I was the only one that couldn't afford the stuff they did.
Living in the Valley, I've always been to schools that didn't really have a very large black population. So from elementary school to high school, I never really had any black friends. In high school, most of my friends, or majority of my friends, were Hispanic and often spoke Spanish to each other. Me, I only unfortunately speak English, so I didn't always know what was going on. Things got really complicated when I was invited to family events, and everyone would be laughing and telling jokes, and I would just kind of nod and smile like I knew what was going on. Well, even though my friends always accepted me, I still felt like I didn't belong.
I moved to America when I was 12 years old. I didn't speak English at the time. I felt very foreign because of the language barrier, and school was hard. I thought I was going to meet a lot of people from Ethiopia, but I didn't. So even asking a simple question took a really long time. And the only friend I had was a friend from Thailand who was a foreigner like me. And me and him had something in common because we both didn't speak English. And kids used to make fun of me and throw stuff at me at lunch. And one day I got really pissed off and snapped and beat up this one kid. And after that, they used to call me the crazy African kid. And but no one really messed with me after that.
Even though I was a different race, I was still able to make the Marines my brothers.
Finally realized that clothes and whatever I had, any material stuff, doesn't really mean anything. It doesn't really make you who you are as a person.
Even though I was the only black person in our group of friends, they're still my best friends to this day.
When I moved to this country, I didn't speak any English, but now I speak English and made many friends.